Jacques-Philippe here. I'm here with my very good friend Quddus. It's always such a pleasure to spend time with you. I think you're such a special, phenomenal human being, multifaceted. And I appreciate you taking some time to drop some knowledge.
Of course, man. I can say the same about you. That's why I'm here. I'm happy to be here with everybody watching too.
Thank you. And, I was thinking you're passionate about so many things. And I'd really love to hear what it is in this moment that's really doing it for you. Like, what do you wake up in the morning saying, that's the thing, and I'm going to pour as much of myself into it in this moment as I possibly can?
Well, considering where we are in the world, what's happening here in this country, and what I think we're all aware of now. I think before I was in some level of delusion and denial about the things that now are like on the table for all of us to reckon with. And I'm not going to say his name, but somebody got into office that is every day a headline that disturbs me. And with that as the context, the thing that seems so important to me is that everybody get that their voice matters.
Sure.
That there's nobody watching this right now that doesn't realize how important it is for you to exercise and actually vocalize what it is that matters to you. So as we're talking about what matters to me is that everybody out there gets that what matters to them gets to be put out there and broadcast, which is why we created Camera Ready.
Sure.
So that everybody feels as empowered, as confident, as comfortable, as authentic in what it is that they have to offer the world, and that they actually move on that and feel supported in that. And so what we're doing with the Camera Ready experience is really, really important to me.
I agree. I'm happy that it's important to you because I agree that it's important to everyone else. And I've been following what you guys have been doing with Camera Ready, and I've seen the testimonials. If they're real, they're amazing.
I assure you, they're real.
They're amazing. Yeah. I trust it. Has there been any key takeaway from that experience that surprised you?
How deep the work is that we get to do to become the vessel that a lot of these messages that we all have in our hearts are to really impact the world. Because I think there's a couple different levels that need to take place. I think in order for somebody to have the impact that they're here to make, that each of us are here to make, and first is self.
Yep.
And I think some of us skip that step. Some of us get so excited about something that we'll go out there and scream it from a mountaintop, but we're doing it from a broken heart.
Yep.
Or we're doing it from some notion of needing to prove something. And so there's something in the water that isn't that digestible for people. And some people can't even put their finger on it, but they're not running up to the mountaintop with that person. And so unless and until we really resolve the self, then we're not in a position to really have the impact that we are here to make. So it's just covering that step first, which some people aren't willing to do. It's probably the most challenging work there is to do on this planet. And I think it's a lifetime of work. Yeah. It's not like I'm ever on the mountaintop like levitating. I still have my moments where I feel completely unresolved in myself, but at least I have some tools and a support system that I can lean on to rise up again and get clear about the things that I get to shift out of if I am feeling disempowered. Yeah. And so that's the first wave of it. And so that's what we do in the Camera Ready. We give people a practice ground and a feedback loop to really get clear about what's working, more importantly than anything, and then maybe some things that might be a blind spot for them.
Sure. You've done so many things over an extended period of time, right? And each time, you're taking some level of risk. Mm-hmm. There's some levels of discomfort, things you're not familiar with, you're growing, you're learning. And if you're human, you're making some mistakes. Right?
Many, in my case, yeah.
I'd love for you to share one of those failures that you feel like you've grown the most from, such that others might benefit from that experience and potentially avert it.
And are we talking professional or personal? Because I can go both ways.
It's literally open-ended for the purpose. It's your truth.
I'll say this because I think it really applies to everybody. Not everybody is in my lane professionally, but personally, I think we're all in some kind of relationship.
Sure.
And I think the biggest mistake that I've made in relationship is look at the other person as the source of what gets to be fixed versus looking right in the mirror. And that has happened way more times than I care to really go into, because that's a whole nother, that's a documentary. But really, Yeah, the ex-girlfriend that I think was actually so formative for me, that I think poured her heart and soul into the relationship, was someone who I didn't revere to the extent that I could have. I oftentimes made a point of being like a sniper. I would like find something to make her not enough about, but really it was as an extension of where I didn't feel enough. And so, of course, I'm projecting that into every relationship, but certainly her. And so, yeah, that's something that was definitely a fail forward, because when I look at that relationship, in some sense, I look at it as a failure, but then thankfully that lesson landed in a major way in the months after, where I really got to reconcile with that choice and how we broke up, and say, wow, like she was actually my greatest teacher. Yeah. And now my current fiance gets to benefit from all that lesson that I learned. But yeah, that was definitely a major learning.
And I think you're right on. That's definitely something that we can all learn and grow from. It sounds like a lot of it goes back to gratitude and appreciating the other the same that you hopefully would appreciate yourself. And it also ties back to a term you used to use quite a bit, the new man. So it takes a special kind of man to come to those realizations. So
I think it's just so easy to make it about somebody else.
Absolutely.
And then to really do the work and be introspective and say, you know what? That might have been me.
Boom. Drop it.
Yep. That's
Thank you.
it.
Love you, brother.
Failing forward over here.